Girl, it's what I heard. Allegedly, it's just the word. Allegedly, it's on the street. Allegedly, I sing to the beat. Allegedly, lee, lee, lee. Allegedly, lee, lee, lee. Allegedly, lee, lee, lee. Allegedly.
So Carlos is going to interview Miss Quad. Miss Quad, let's see if she got it. Carlos, everybody can't be an icon. He starts with his typical gas up and then says, I'm not gassing the girls up. Yes, you are. Quad is okay on this show. She had a little moment on Sister Circle, but honestly, I think that she's a darker, slightly less annoying version of Tamar Braxton. Not Tamar, Tamar. But all of these icon accolades you hand out, I just don't see it. He said she's a legend in reality television. A legend. Nene, yes, that's a legend. Even I could say Giselle's necks are out there holding their own. But we don't even know how this heifer pays for her house. She's been on and off the show. She a friend of, I would say Marlo is a legend. But Married to Medicine it's cute, but I don't get legendary from it. I'm going to need more if you're going to say legend, an icon. Kyle Richards, I can see legend or icon. Urka Jane. Garcelle, newbie, but still has the career to back it up. Miss Quad, I mean, she went from, that meal ticket chipmunk she had to the townhouse to Sister Circle being canceled, and now she's back on Married to Medical. You may be the most underrated star on Bravo. She's kind of one note. I'd like to see versatility. I would say Candy Burris, whose name you won't mention, is the most underrated star on Bravo, because she's worldwide. Miss Quad ain't even countrywide. She's voice of the city. She ain't even voice of Atlanta. She's in the chorus. Oh, God, it's going to be 40-something minutes of listening to them kiss each other's butts. Kiss each other's butts. Whew. Glad I had a light breakfast. So he asked her, if you weren't on Bravo, would you be the face of another network? She ain't the face of Bravo. You ain't even on Bravo no more. Why do you always talk about Bravo? I guess you said NBC gonna give you your check regardless. But I could see Quad on Weed TV. But she does feel Married to Medical gets pushed to the back. The ratings push you back. I mean, one, they would not give y'all a good time slot during your strong seasons. This season was okay. But also, you're supposed to be a more mature show, but where's your audience? Now he's saying Married to Medicine is the best show on Bravo, period. No, it's cute, but it's not best on Bravo. So he friends with everybody but Dr. Simone, probably because she keep it too real for you. So season 8, Bravo wasn't willing to give Quiet a check, but they was desperate enough, so that's why she was back full-time this season. She said people were happy she was gone. Who? Hefferly? Probably Hefferly with her two-faced self. She said, I took up 20 minutes of the reunion, so I brought it this season. I can't remember what we were talking about with you, but oh yeah, you brought it. What was Quad's drama this season other than the fact we don't know how she's paying for that house and she's supposedly sleeping with contractors? Girl, she broke down the reunion minute by minute by minute. She said I had 32 minutes, Anila had 10 minutes, then we came back to me. A 3-minute promo for Watch What Happens Live, a 6-minute commercial break. And she tells her cast, some of you may be happy that I wasn't there. But just think about it, I keep coins in your pocket, so you may not like me, but I pay ya. Oh, it was Toya who was happy she didn't have to deal with Quad. I could see Toya being that insecure. Oh, goodness. Now Carlos is giving a personal character reference for Quad. We swim in the same circles, we're very close with Teray Whitfield, and I have never heard of her sleeping with a married man to afford her house. Well, you wouldn't. Like we wouldn't hear about the down low men that you have sex with. So she says these rumors came from Mariah, or AKA a woman who has nothing to do with the show in any capacity anymore. Honestly, Quad, you seem so stingy with the puss. I don't see you humping on no married man or any man. You certainly didn't want your Stuart Little. Carlos gonna say you didn't have to take a lie detector test. You could have called me because I know you personally. We don't believe you, Carlos. We believe Candy Burris. Well, Carlos, now you're gonna say I've never seen her out with a man because she's very private. Well, that means he could be married. Why does she need to be that private? So we get back from commercial break, and Carlos immediately asks Quad, well, you keep calling Eugene Eugina. So you gonna throw dirt in Toya's face too. Okay, sissy. And supposedly Toya is having an affair and sleeping around. Carlos said, I'ma get real messy with it. But then you're gonna skin and grin in Toya's face when you have her on. Quad said, well, I don't know really what's going on. I'm not in the bed with Eugina. She said, well, look, information did come to me. I didn't just make it up. So Quad says that Simone tried to save face for Toya and throw the cheating rumors back on Quad, but she asked Simone during Spell House Homecoming, what had she done to her? I think it was you always taking up for Mariah and being on Mariah's side because Mariah was always trying to push Simone out, because I remember when Simone was stoned and turtle-faced and her and Jackie decided to kick Mariah out the group. She said, I go up against you, Quad, because I don't want Toya to be mad at me. Okay, now that's some tea. Now, Quad's looking at it as Toya has some type of brainwash power over Simone, but Simone is about her checks. I think she knows that you are more expendable than Tacky Toya. She don't really want to get into it with Jackie either, so she gonna do what she needs to stay on the show. And keep the peace, but keep the payment. So Quad says, if you think I'm too much, that's fine. I ain't gonna dim my light for you. However, Carlos says, I saw her domestic side. When she and Dr. G were still married and Dr. G had to shoot a scene with Phaedra, she cooked for the crew. She made sure he was ready to film. She was a housewife. No cameras. What are you talking about? They were filming Dr. G. She knew she could have gotten on there. And also, she still wanted to impress you and the crew and Phaedra. You don't know when you're being worked? I guess Candy didn't know. He said, did it hurt your feelings when people said you only married him for money and dropped him when you got the fame? And she said, people grasp at straws when they don't know. Oh, we knew. We knew. You just want to insult her intelligence, but I'm not buying your gaslighting. Now, Quad, it's not that we saw you with an older man and thought gold digger. It's the way you treated him. It's the way you loudly said, I don't want to have sex with you every chance you got. It's the way you were repulsed when he came in the room. It wasn't just, oh, younger and older. It was, you don't like him. You don't like him as a person. You didn't want to have children with them, and you married him and said you were going to have children with them. Then you kept putting it off and putting it off. It was that, hun. It was that. Girl, now Quad gonna say I was the force behind him getting his own practice. You were married for 10 minutes. You had one of them Kenya Moore marriages where you spent more time divorcing than married. Was your success driving a wedge between your husband and you at the time? No, because her success was always her exit strategy, and it was obvious. You can't drive a wedge between two people who don't love each other. Oh, God. So she said being a personality came natural to her, but her husband had to work hard for it. That's what drew the wedge betwixt them. So Quad isn't dating an African, but she's going to Portia and Simon's wedding to husband, hun. Carlos said, would you bring a new man on the show? And Quad's like, I don't know. That could blow up in my face. We saw what happened with Kenya, picking anybody, like Walter. Carlos said, well, you're such a force multiplier. You don't need a man to be interesting. You don't. You don't. But that also means you got to stay out of other married people's business. If you ain't going to bring your relationship up, that's cool. Keep it cute. But when you start digging into other people's marriages, we want to hear about your relationship. In the words of Whitney, what's your utopia like? Quad also said, look, I got divorced on the show. Let me keep this next relationship to myself. Now Quad's going over how unlavish their life was, and it was very upper middle class. We knew that. That's why you looked at him with such disdain. He was your starter husband to get you in the room with real wealth. So Carlos asked her, you want Mariah back? And she said, well, I don't make those decisions, but we were good together. I have to admit, we was good together. Y'all were irritating together. You sang in the key of screechy, but all right. So she drops the tea on her little cookbook, and that was the episode. Well, let's get to White Lotus. Everybody's talking about it. I like that theme song, so I'm going to peep at it.
Alleged what? Alleged who? Allegedly. Don't blame, don't sue. Allegedly. Allegedly.